Welcome back to Etc. Podcast. I am your host, Victor, along with my co-host, Mark. I just smacked my mic. How are you doing, Mark?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I gotta fix this damn chair because I don't know who the hell was sitting in it. Freaking.
Yours seems like it was some tall motherfucker or short. And mine seems like somebody was eating off of it.
Fucking Gru. What's his name? Gru from Despicable Me was sitting in this. Just long ass legs and short ass arms.
Yeah.
But what's new with you, Mark? What's going on? It's been a week. You know, it hasn't been that long since we've seen each other.
Yeah. Nothing much. I mean, same old, no work and everything. Trying to see. Yeah, nothing really new has happened, really, exactly. I mean, like I said, just been watching, anime, and, you were talking about in the car ride here, the Demon Slayer episode that just passed by. And that was, see, somebody really enjoyed it last week.
I love the show so much.
I am going to, after this, to get my hair dyed.
I'm getting burgundy tips.
But yeah, so same old really. But what's been up with you?
Nothing much. I've been watching the Attack on Titans, watching the Euphorias, watching the Demon Slayers. I was gonna say he finally let out the man bun for us. So thank you to Mark for blessing us with your presence.
It looked better yesterday, but
it'll get there. Good and bad hair days, stuff happens.
Yeah.
But thank you for blessing us with the man bun presence. But yeah, nothing much really happened with me. Had recently casted another Halo showcase, which was a lot of fun. Getting better, feeling more comfortable as a caster. Never really thought in all my years that would be what I'm doing with my life after college is casting esports tournaments. But
nice.
'Tis a dream. It's just, it's a little different from podcasting,
Yeah.
You gotta, we're both relatively like calm people and I'm like, oh my God,
right.
He just killed someone. I'm still getting used to being able to do that on cue, but it's a lot of fun. So that was cool. I'm planning some other events as well that I was telling you about, but that, I'm not talking about work right now. We're talking about other shit.
Okay.
One thing, obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on, Super Bowl and other stuff going on, but one thing that, I didn't plan on talking about, but it came to my face randomly, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta address this. You remember a while ago, we gotta do better at it, going live on TikTok, and we got banned for bullying for no reason.
We didn't bully.
We literally did not. They were harassing us and asking us to whip out our penises, and we told them no. So they were bullying us. They were peer pressuring us, and somebody got upset that Mark wouldn't show his penis, and they reported us.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to going live. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool people when when people aren't sexually harassing you. I can only feel for just the women that go live, just regular, trying to be chill, and then they get guys doing that to them unprovoked.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously, there's the ones out there that there's hot tub streams and lives and shit. It's kind of you're hitting a certain audience, so you kind of almost see it coming.
Yeah.
But when you're just chilling, we were literally setting up the podcast and people are like, hey, what's up with it? Just bro, not right now, please. I'm working. What's up with what? The sky?
The sky, the lights that we're putting up in here. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I can only imagine what it's like in those lives. But it's just very strange. And this is not telling of what my For You page looks like. Because my For You page is food, anime shit, and just random funny Vine-like content. So nobody can come at me why is it on your For You page? And I've listened to another podcast and I was like, damn, so it's not just me. This shit is weird as hell. Remember I used to tell you that there was sleep streams on TikTok too, and not only just Twitch. This is the new thing. I don't know if you've seen it. You haven't been on the TikTok lately. I've sent you 150 TikToks. You haven't responded to a single one. So I'm not hurt, but I'm just saying, open your TikTok. There's a trend in lives right now.
Okay. Which
at first I was like, is she doing what I think she's doing? I was trying to realize yo, Vic, don't be potty, don't have a dirty mind. She's just chilling. This is just a coincidence. Until I saw somebody else talk about this and be yo, what the hell is up with that? So right now, a common thing going on TikTok lives are girls just laying in bed, right? Not asleep or anything, but simulating as if they were having sex. No sex sounds, but they're just lying on their back and kind of rocking back and forth as if somebody was thrusting them on the other end.
Okay.
And no talking, no face expressions, no weird moaning, nothing. It's just the act of somebody rocking them back and forth.
It's funny.
Rocking the boat, as Aaliyah once said.
It's
R.I.P.
It's funny because Like, there was one time where I came across a live and it was this girl just talking regular. And you could see, like, some of her chest. And then, for the most part, she would just randomly just bounce, like, up and down because obviously her chest was showing. And just the fact that you said that, it kind of, like, almost makes me think of that exact thing where it's like, she's just kind of, like, doing it purposely and just trying to get people to see. And I'm just like,
I mean, a lot of the times, like, not that I'm not saying that it's good or bad, but it's done, like, most of the time with those types of accounts, they're done purposely. Like, they know they're not wearing, they just so happen to not wear a bra that day and wear a tank top. And they're so happy that they wear.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the conversation and what she was doing had no reason for her to start bouncing. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like just
trying to get them gifts, bro. Trying to make that TikTok
like
money.
Like, just talk. Like, you know, why are you bouncing randomly? It was just weird. So, yeah.
But I saw that and I'm just like, this is getting, like, to another weird realm of, like, why this? Like, for the girl who's doing it, I get it. Like, you trying to get your followers up, you know, not really showing anything. You're just kind of like, I don't know, like, for people with that kind of mind, pandering or, like, doing whatever that they would like to see.
Hey, man.
But it's like, bro, like, is porn not a thing? Like, can you not just go and watch that? Is OnlyFans not a thing?
I don't know.
Like, why do you have to... Not necessarily the girl, but just the guys that are going onto these lives and basically feeding into it. Like, there's other... Like, you know, like, this isn't, like, 1980 anymore. You don't have to go to, like, a weird, dingy, like, VHS store and, like, go to the very back next to the curtains and, like, pull up...
Says 18 and older only.
Booty Thunder 74. Like, it's... like, now you're at a time where you can just literally whip out a flip phone and watch whatever you want. Like, there's literally flip phones that have YouTube now.
That's awesome.
So, like, and I'm not even joking, like, Obama phone, like, you flip it open and it has the YouTube app.
That's awesome. They came so far.
So, like, why are you on TikTok Live finding some random girl that you have no idea about, who's probably late teens, early 20s, just watching her just lay in bed?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, and again, like, it sucks. I hope she's over 18. You know? That's all I can hope for, because it's like, if she's not, and she obviously knows what she's doing. So it's like,
and I'm not mad at her at all. I'm mad at the people who are feeding into it. Like, bro, like,
I mean, it's the same thing when I, like, you know, because you brought up, like, sleep streams. Like, people want to do, like, we were there.
Like, why does that work? Like, why do you like watching people sleep? That's what gets me upset.
Yeah, that's what's very weird.
Because if I were in that position where somebody's like, yo, like, lay on your back and just, like, rock back and forth, and I'll send you X amount of money, and it works every day, and I don't have to work anymore or something, guess what I'm doing? I don't care. like, to be honest, like, at the end of the day, like, that's what it is. Like,
if you're telling me to come out and hang out with you guys, I'm sorry, but I have to go to work.
I have to work.
I have to work and lay on my back and rock back.
If I'm a Twitch streamer and I'm able to go to sleep and you guys will drop subs all night and then I wake up $500 in my bag, like,
exactly.
Why would I not do it?
Exactly.
At the end of the day. So, like, I'm not mad at the people taking advantage. I'm mad at the people that are
almost
paying
like
for it.
It's almost, you're mad at the people paying for it and mad at the, like, system because of the fact that it does work. Like, the fact that because people are feeding into it, it's a thing now. So
multiple people are doing it. And, like,
people are doing it. It's not like it's a thing where it's just like, it was a little trend and it stopped. Like, this is going to go on forever. Like, so yeah, it's kind of annoying and you kind of get mad at the fact that people are paying for it, you know, because there's legitimate things out there, you know, that people, you would understand why they're paying for it. But if something like this, you're like, but why are you paying for something like that?
Yeah, and then it's like, because it's just, I'm trying to understand the thought process. Because, like, other streams, there's, like, subathons, right?
Yeah.
Where, like, people play games and then there's a timer and it's like, as soon as the timer runs out, it's over. Like, so that's, like, kind of the motivation there. Or, like, you know, 24-hour streams, like, if we hit this amount of, like, subscribers, then I'll do this challenge during the stream, or I'll play this game or whatever. Like, I get the incentive there. Or charity streams even.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, as you hit certain tiers or donate money. But, like, sleep stream, like, at least just chatting, you can say that somebody's talking and reading your messages out and having conversation. Like, if I'm asleep.
I'm just thinking of something.
What?
Like, I'm just thinking, like, yo, like, me or you, like, we're sleeping. We're just unconsciously doing it. We're streaming and we're sleep streaming. And just imagine you just start busting ass.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, that would happen on my stream. And I get clipped. And I'd end up on, like, somebody's page or something.
No, but that Jones is going to be, like, a husky one. Like, just, like, and then you just hear, like,
you think that the people that do it really be sleep, though?
I mean,
I'd be kind of like paranoid, like not even trying to be funny, like even though it is funny, to like fully trust that you're on live stream on camera sleeping, and you're asleep, so you're either groggy and not know what you're doing or completely out of it. So what if like something just pops out or like like what do you
for
do?
the most part,
weird?
like you gotta be secure in like what you're wearing and everything like that. But I do understand the idea of just like, like you feel like you're probably just like creeped out because it's like yeah, you probably like know that a good amount of people are part of your community, probably like in there. At least I hope.
People are
but
like,
then you know that there's people who are obviously just like
there's
not
like
even.
1%.
They're just like user accounts, like they're just like freshly made, random people, and they're
like a Wi-Fi password is their username.
Yeah,
it's like XQY2C.
Exactly. And then you have those people where it's just like you don't even know who that person is. Just looking like watching you. Like, it's kind of creepy, to think about. And
even if the content isn't sexual in and of itself, they're just weird people that are. Somebody could be pleasuring themselves to our podcast right now. We would never know. We've got some views on TikTok and other stuff. Like,
that person was talking about you the other time.
What happened?
Remember that person was leaving comments?
I know what you're talking about, but I'm trying to remember what they said.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't. It was something, but
somebody said like stay still, and I'm like, hey, what you mean?
It was a song about Victor. I was like, hey, okay.
I didn't think I was gonna be popular on the TikTok lives like that. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I like this, but yeah, that's what I was trying to wrap my head around. But once I saw that, I'm like, damn, bro, like you could really do anything. Like it's just a matter of it catching on. Yeah. That's why I believe in us. We could literally do whatever. Because there's people who are doing less or who have more viewership with less being put into it and vice versa. Like there are people there's channels on the internet that do movie grade content and get 50,000 views if they're lucky.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody who will sit down and eat like crab legs for an hour and get all they do is 5 million
really
views.
Close to the mic and just hear every crunch, and it's just
so it's just a matter of the stars aligning and whatnot. Like it's just very weird in that. But I also want to add that I noticed this. I don't know if this was intentional. I'm kind of like going off of my experience. So I see you got the ETC podcast shirt underneath your flannel. Is it not the best like perfect white shirt though?
It is.
To like I'm not even trying to like pat myself on the back or like toot my own horn. I've seen a lot of people like who like to wear like a flannel or something or like find like I need a white shirt and they use the podcast shirt.
Yeah,
that is a good ass white shirt.
It is.
It's still pure clean white too.
So let me tell you my thought process as I was doing it. So I was like, what to wear, and I wasn't sure at first what to wear, but then I saw the flannel and I was like, fuck it, because like you said, it was gonna be a little chilly, and I was like, let me just have something I can wear if it does get a little chilly. So I picked the flannel. Then I was like, I do have like my polo white shirts, but I was like at the same time, they're not as like thick and it's a little bit see-through. So I was like, I don't know if it'll be the best, but I was like, what kind of white shirt do I have? And I do know the one white shirt that isn't something where it's plain straight on the front of the tee. And I was like, the ETC shirt. It's like, it can go off to the side as far as this logo, but it does peek out a little bit. It's perfectly fine because then if I want to take this off, it's a shirt that, it's nice. So that's kind of the thought process I had. I was like, it's like literally a perfect white shirt to just kind of have. Just chilling.
Because like I'm not even talking about the logo or nothing. I'm just saying the actual shirt that we printed it on. I've seen a lot of people like, yo, like it's really good for like stuff like that. Because even if it's just the left or the left pocket thing, you can kind of tuck that.
Exactly. As I said, you can put it away, but it might sneak out a little bit. But it's perfectly fine as a white shirt to have. Like,
so that blank is fire. We might have to keep doing those for our white tees. I just noticed that, and I'm like, yo, you aren't the first person I've seen do this. So like that white tee was golden, the one that we ended up using. But yeah. Also, I mean, did you have anything you want to bring up?
Nah.
Okay. So, but like I said before, when we were doing stuff online, there was stuff that I want to talk about that's like kind of old news now since we've been away. But I just feel like I want to talk about it. And since we're on the topic of TikTok and shit and like the internet, I don't know how deep you were into it, but this whole like Elmo resurgence that's been going on, I've been loving the shit out of it. I'm like fully on board, like balsamic vinegar. Like I'm all about it. I hope that they do more with it. Elmo to me is fucking hilarious now with all the shit I've been seeing. But I just want to see where your head was at with the balsamic vinegar.
So I wasn't really that much like into it. Like I didn't really like catch that much into it. So it was like
Elmo got attitude though, bro. Like he's funny.
Yeah, I got it brought up. Yeah, like I saw like you get brought up and everything like that. I just never looked like really deep into it, but I did see stuff like spur up about it and stuff like that.
And I just seen all the edits of like saying like, oh, Elmo's from New York and whatnot. imagine they like play into that shit. Like they have an episode and his voice get mad deep, like Pop Smoke type. Hey, balsamic vinegar. This is just like, hey yo, welcome. Huh? Welcome back to Sesame Street. Woo.
Sesame Street. What we doing today?
Big Bird just pull up. But
yo, what's up, Bird?
That should have been killing me, especially like, what was it? Like the whole shit with him and Rocco.
Yeah,
that shit's gold,
bro.
That
was like the thing that I saw the most of.
Like if they keep doing shit like that, like I'll watch Sesame Street. I don't care. That shit's killing me. Like he was like, what's her name? Susie, I think the orange one.
Yeah,
she pull up with the rock and it's just like, oh, like it's someone's birthday, and he's like, oh, it's Jordan. It's Jordan's birthday. It's like, no, it's like somebody else who's next to you. It's very small and very cute. And he's like, not Rocco. It's like, yes, Rocco. He's like, Jordan. He's like, Rocco's a rock. Like, why you say happy birthday? Rocco's a rock.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that would get me.
And then there's the shit he did with like Jimmy Fallon. Have you seen that?
I feel like I've seen it, but at the same time, I don't think I remember everything of it.
It's just like him being on the show with Jimmy Fallon, and they're like doing the recipes or whatever, and then he's just like cutting him off. Like, oh, they're gonna go to a break. He's like, he just looks at him like. He's like, you're not welcome at Sesame Street anymore. He's like, no, wait. He's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. He's like, Questlove, you allowed. He's talking to the band. He's like, you could come to Sesame Street, but him, he not allowed. He started running off. He's like, oh, we got to go to a break. He's like, what's that, camera one? He's like, camera one, he not welcome no more. He's like, we'll be right back after this break.
Yeah, that's PG-13 Elmo right there.
And like, that's what I was kind of like going at in my head. I'm like, yo, like if they, for whatever reason, like obviously, you know, the times have kind of changed with like what kids are into.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm sure Elmo's still popular. I don't have a kid, so I don't know. But like, obviously things like Cocomelon and all that other shit kind of like popped out of nowhere and is like popular. I don't know if like the classic shows are like, I don't know if Barney's still popping the way it used to. I don't know if like Sesame Street is popping like it used to. I'm assuming so. Like, I feel like that's always going to kind of be a thing, or like Mickey Mouse and shit. Like, I feel like that will never go away. But if it does die down to a point where it's like, oh, like, should we really make the show anymore? I feel like they should just rebrand and make it like old people shit.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that'd be perfect. Because Bratz, you know, Bratz did that? Like, Bratz dolls.
Yeah.
They kind of like, oh, like, we're not really popular with the younger kids and like this new generation of kids anymore. All the people that grew up with us are like in their 20s, you know, 30s now. So they completely rebranded to like be like PG-13, like mature shit.
Yeah.
Which is fire.
Yeah,
like, I think that's genius.
Yeah, they should always do that because, again, like you said, like, the audience is just not there anymore. So why not just kind of change it?
Especially with the fact that like exactly with that thinking, like everybody who's grew up with it is now at an age where they're all most of the time like at an age where they're adults.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to keep that older shit for the kids, like you can replay it for those kids, but if their target audience is now in their 20s and 30s, like what's stopping you from like making Ed, Edd n Eddy like old as fuck and just being funny with it? Like people are gonna watch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what kind of my thought was, because I was also, somebody brought up Ed, Edd n Eddy the other day too, and I'm like, it's crazy how they haven't tried to reboot that, because they rebooted literally everything else.
They rebooted a lot of stuff. I mean,
but that shit would fucking kill me, bro. Like fucking Kermit just being like, what's up, my guy? Bring that shit over here. That shit was gas, bro.
No, yeah. I always wonder why they didn't like reboot certain shows. Like they really should, but again, I guess it all depends on like the creator and stuff like that.
With all this repeated ass reboots that they're doing, they don't want to go that route.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why.
Like, it's dumb.
Yeah, because like they'll reboot a lot of stuff that you wouldn't even think of, and you're just
that like, nobody asked for it.
Yeah, nobody asked.
Like How I Met Your Father just came back.
Yeah.
Who wanted that? Like,
who was the one who said like I need this?
Yeah,
version?
like
I don't know.
Like you can't do that. Like it's very difficult to. Like you said, like we kind of have to make it its own thing. Because if you attach it with a name with How I Met Your Father, with the diehard fans that like How I Met Your Mother have, they're gonna ridicule the shit out of it. So you might as well just make it its own show and like they're like different concept. Because like, yeah, it might make you be like, oh, like I used to like How I Met Your Mother. Let me go watch How I Met Your Father. That hype will only last for like 1 to 2 episodes if the show sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, y'all ruined it. Like I don't want any parts of it. I just want to maintain my memories of How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, that's TV though.
Yeah, it's getting kind of old. Like it's getting to the point where it's like at a detriment almost to the show, because like somebody tries to bring back Friends and call the show fucking Cousins. It's like nobody's trying to watch that shit.
That shit right across the street.
Homies. Like nobody's gonna want to do that shit. It's gonna be like mad weird. And then obviously Fuller House, like Bob Saget passed away, so I don't know what they're gonna do with that. But it's just like there's no need for it. Like, if anything, just keep the current title and rebrand it. Like, even with the reboot for the Boondocks, I believe it got canceled, unfortunately, because I think there's so much pushback, I guess. So I don't think we're even gonna get that, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But bro, I would kill to hear like Elmo curse and do all that other shit. Cause like, to be honest, when we were growing up, like YouTube videos used to do that, and they would go crazy viral. Yeah. When people used to impersonate like cartoons and like add adult voiceover for it.
Flair to it, yeah.
And I remember that shit to this day.
The Justice League one.
Yeah, bro. Oh my God, that is a perfect example. That is a perfect example, bro. Teen Titans, where they just start going. I guess because Teen Titans Go, you can't really do that because now kids genuinely love Teen Titans Go.
It's actually more of a kidding thing, yeah.
But like Justice League, bro. But they kind of do that in general, though, right? Isn't it more like? Isn't there some aspects of it that are kind of like PG-13-ish?
I mean, yeah, Justice League itself is definitely more of like a teenager show, you know. But as far as like how far when we were like with them,
yeah,
they definitely don't do any of that.
Nah, that would be hilarious.
Because that's not what the show is basically like the story of it's focused on.
That's also difficult as well because like you have to maintain to the comics almost.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do something like that again, you have to like tell everybody it's like a parody of it.
Yeah, it's like, not even like don't take it canon or
don't take it serious or anything. It's just jokes.
Just for shits and giggles.
If they do that, then yeah, you can do whatever you want, and I would definitely probably tune in here and there to hear some shit.
Well, I guess that's why Robot Chicken did so well.
Yeah,
because they were. I mean, it obviously didn't look like the original shows, but they got away with, I guess, getting the permission to claymation, Batman or whatever. And just be like, oh, like what the fuck, Batman? Like listen, like or like whatever, or like the Super Mario one when they did Mario Kart. It's like, oh, it's the blue turtle shell, my brother. It's like, oh, he's going to die.
Yeah, it's
or Bop It, the Bop It one that I still think about kills me every time. You remember that one?
That one I don't remember.
It's like a kid who gets Bop It for his birthday or Christmas.
Oh wait,
and he starts playing with his like pull it, twist it, everything's fine. It gets even worse. It's like old lady has like trip her, trip her. And then it keeps escalating, and he gets the sniper. He's like, load it, load it, shoot it. And then at that point, when he's aiming it, he's shaking. He's like, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it.
Yeah, I feel like in that sense, the reason why is because like they take the S of like what it is, but they just make it their own at some point, like how they like go about it. Like like Batman and Robin. It's like who Batman and Robin it is, but as far as like what they're doing. It's just probably a regular like day of their life, and then they just throw some random shit in there. So,
yeah, but I don't know. There has to be some way. Like even if they made like one channel, where it's just like, yo, like just so y'all know, this isn't tied to the actual thing. This isn't the real story, but we gonna have some fun with it. All right. If y'all want to hear Elmo say the F word, come over here. We're gonna be lit. If you want to hear Mickey Mouse give no fucks, come over here. Because that show, that show's funny as hell,
that too. That shit is hilarious, bro.
And Cuphead is getting a show, too, and it's similar style to that Mickey Mouse thing. It's going to be on Netflix. It might have already come out, or it's close to it.
Probably close. But what's crazy is that, like, if there was any platform to see it on, it would be Adult Swim.
Yeah, and that's perfect as well, because Cartoon Network had a lot of the rights to a lot of those shows.
Yeah. Like, if it was, definitely, I would definitely see it on, like, Adult Swim, and that'd be perfect, but it would be somewhat similar to Robot Chicken, not like the art style, but just, like, how they go about it, where they, like, take the show, they take the show, but then they just make it, like, kind of like their own. It's, like, nothing serious. So, hopefully, something like that's always fun to have, instead of just, like you said, trying to make something else and keep the whole thing of it going, but then it's just ass because you're like, it doesn't live up to what the predecessor was.
That's how you reboot something. You have to add some new aspect to it. Yeah. You can't just add better animation to it, shitty script, and expect it to be okay. Yeah. Like, I would much rather watch old Powerpuff Girls, for example, because they got remade too, where the animation looks old. Like, sometimes old animation just hits a certain part in you. Yeah. Like, I prefer it sometimes. Like, when you watch, like, obviously Demon Slayer, beautiful show. Animation, insane. But I could pull up Cowboy Bebop and be like, like just that old look, it just feels good. So it doesn't make things any better just because you have better equipment to make a better looking show. Because if you listen to the script, a lot of the newer shows, like it's ads. But if you go back in the day when the animation was not as good, it's like, damn, the script was funny or it had good story.
You can tell they're just worried more about like how it looks because they're just like, shit, we got to make it look more brighter, better because it's going to catch your attention. But then you realize you're just like, bro, where's this story going?
Or like another good example is the Proud Family. Proud Family came back, and I don't know if it's out yet completely, but I've seen the trailer, like the theme song, and it's like, yeah, it looks new, the animation. I don't think the voices are the same, so that's gonna fuck me up. Yeah. I don't think only one that I heard that I recognized was the grandmom's voice,
which is a surprise.
Yeah, everyone else's was like, it sounds new, so I'm just like, I don't like it. Like,
yeah, you can tell it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, but what was my point initially? That's how you reboot something. You have to add something new to it. Yeah. So if somebody wants to hire us, we could. You even got to pay us that much. I just want to like have the opportunity to work on it.
Yeah, just kind of like
give us some resources. That's all we want.
Some directions here and there.
You know, I'll work my main job. You know, just hit us up to like work on it. Give us some or space to work on it, and we'll make you guys money. So if like Tubi or some like Crackle wants to hit us up,
right.
We'll make a show happen.
Well, we'll make sure we make something that the audience will like, you know.
Yeah, but obviously they'll never hit us up. But a man can dream. You know what? They will hit us up. Exactly. We will be on some third-party streaming service. No, Peacock's kind of big, but that's not important.
Paramount Plus. No.
That'd be insane, bro. You know the bag. But also, before we get out of here, have you seen this whole stuff with like the Joe Rogan podcast? Like all the shit that's going down with Spotify and that?
I didn't. I did see something with Joe Rogan, and I was just wondering, like, what could it be about?
So obviously, like, Joe Rogan has been doing this shit for years, like, even way before we have. Yeah. Like, he's one of, like, the original, at least well-known podcasts. Like, he's
the one who I would say brought it to, like...
Yeah, in terms of, like, really carrying the shit forward, as much as, you know, there's shit around his name. Mm-hmm. The Joe Rogan Experience podcast kind of, like, is, like, one of, like, the forefathers of, like, podcasting. Like, there is no where it is right now because of that. Even with the deal he got with Spotify, like, that opened the doors for a lot of other people.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that he got, like, $200 million just to be on Spotify alone. Mm-hmm. Like, even if another show that's not as big doesn't get $200 million, that opens the door to be like, hey, if they got $200 million... we could get 10 or something like that. That's insane. But unfortunately, since he's been doing it for a long time, there's also the thing that if you've been doing shit for as long as he has, times change. So there was a point in time in the early stages where not even that early stages, even more recently as well, where he said some things that don't really work as well today.
Yeah, that's how it always works. Yeah.
So, you know, a couple compilations got released of him saying the hard R N-word on the show. And joking around it and making some unhealthy jokes.
That's like completely different.
Yeah.
You know, like.
But also, I mean, the way it was put, like, obviously, it wasn't in none of those situations where they ever like, oh, like he's calling someone it.
Yeah.
It was always surrounding the discussion of the word.
Okay.
Which doesn't change it at all. You can always just say N-word. You don't have to drop the hard R.
Yeah.
So I'm not condoning it at all. But at least, like, I don't feel like as though he's necessarily a racist. It's just more of like he was a white person. That's not his word to be using. Yeah. So he's getting a lot of flack for it, which rightfully so. Yeah. And then there was another like a joke for something else that was really bad that supposedly people were talking about that I haven't seen. So that's a whole other part to it. But we were just talking about men podcasts and all this shit popped off. And yeah, I mean, he got this crazy deal. Obviously, it's not a good look when something like this happens. He's apologized for it since then, which everybody pretty much does when there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of like musicians, even before this specific video, there was like another issue of something he said, I believe around like the vaccine or something. I don't know. Some conversation he had with some certain guests that a lot of people disagreed with. So like a lot of major artists like pulled from the platform in protest of it. And Spotify lost a lot of money. So like a lot of shit going on. I don't know if like they'll continue his deal or not. Like they might do like a buyout or something. Cause it's getting to like, yeah, like you can have issues and like you can kind of move past it. But when it's just like one after another, it comes to the point it's like, damn, is it really worth it as a company to keep them on here?
Yeah, because they're just saying like, look, like, I mean, I don't know, yeah, because it's really hard to do that. Because they could say like, oh, like go back to every single one of those episodes, take something down or something like that. But at that point, you're like, you know how people work now on the internet. They gonna find it.
Yeah, and I don't even think that those episodes are on, or at least not most of them, because they were like super early days, or maybe even him being on someone else's show. Because like that acquisition happened like probably like a year ago or so. I don't even remember. Okay. So, and he's been doing it for like 10 plus years. Yeah. But yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy. But it's also like, who are we picking and choosing to be mad at? Because I'm thinking about it, like, there's a lot of people out there who do that kind of stuff, and like nobody, like, it's only like an issue when it's brought up, or like when they see success, or you want to like pick it out.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Because it's like, Fat Joe been dropping the N-bomb since the early 90s, and somebody asked him about it. It was like, oh, why do you use the N-word? He's like, oh, like the N-word is for, you know, it's not where you should really be using. Why do you use the N-word? He's like, because I'm that N-word.
They're like, you know what? All right.
Like, and he's of Puerto Rican descent, but he's like, still, like, that's not your word to be using. Yeah. Because you're like the whitest Puerto Rican to ever walk this earth. Like, you don't. Yeah. And like J-Lo has used it in the past, but she's still doing fine. The Rock, when he was on the WWE, he didn't say that. I mean, obviously he can say the N-word all he wants, but he did the whole Asian impersonation. I don't know if you remember that.
Wait.
You haven't seen that before?
When was it? Like what?
This was like when he had like his little like mohawk, faux hawk thing going on. It was him like it was him in the ring, and Mick Foley had his glasses on, you know, typical The Rock fit. Yeah. And he's like, oh, like I'm gonna kick your ass, like yada yada yada. Like, if you don't understand me, let me say this in another language. And he starts like imitating as if he was speaking like Chinese or something. But it wasn't like genuine, like trying to speak Chinese. It was just like a bunch of noises. And he's as big as he is now, and nobody ever talks about it. Nobody ever brings it up. Or like, I mean, it is brought up because I've seen it, but not to the point it's like, oh, cancel The Rock. Like,
so, you know, it's a little bit different with that. I'm not saying it's anything right, like, but I feel like a lot of the times they are being told what to say, you know? I feel like a lot of times.
But still,
I know, that's what I'm saying. But still, like I said, he didn't have to say and like agree to that, you know, like that, like at all. But at the same time, like it would be hard to really. I mean, at least for him, I don't know. They would be like, oh, just go straight for him. Like, you should really be going out for those writers. That's just kind of fucked up.
WWE in general was wild back then. Yeah. But like, still, like, and that's what's kind of like, it's difficult because one, people can like grow from it and realize that like certain words are bad. Because like when I was a kid, I watched WWE like back then, and I was like, yo, this is the shit. If I would have watched those same episodes now, I'd be so uncomfortable and be like, damn, like this is really bad. Yeah. Like this is not okay, the stuff that they were doing back then. So like, yeah, it's just kind of difficult. It's like back then, like, one, it was more accepted. Not that it was right, but it was accepted. So it's just kind of like, that's why it was happening. And now, obviously, they would never do that anymore. So it's like, where do you draw the line? And why? And what the issue I have with it is how so pick and choosy it is. Yeah. Where it's just like, oh, like, say we're fine now, like whatever, like we're doing our thing, and then we, you know, get a movie deal or something crazy. Then all of a sudden, all this footage pops up of us from when we were 10 years old that we said the F word or something when we were kids.
Or when we first started the podcast, when we were, before we started recording, it was just audio.
Yeah, like some old ass shit, or not even that, like a video of us in St. Peter's or something, just some random class video.
Wow, look at them, not like in line properly.
Yeah, like damn, bro, like otherwise you would have never come after me like this. Like you searched through the internet for hours and hours to find this weird, obscure video of me just to pull me down. Like,
yeah, it's a lot of times because people aren't in the position you are, and they're just jealous, and they just, I don't know. Well, like I said, there are certain situations, like you said, like you feel like there's people that definitely should, you know,
100%
be responsible for the things they either said or did, and it's like it has to like you thought, oh, because you're so big, it wouldn't come back around. But look, it did. And now you got to pay the price for it because, you know, you should never done those things. But a lot of times when it comes to people who are just trying to, I guess you would say, make it out or finally get their first moment of fame of being, you know, looked at and actually being, like I said, looked at just to be able to show what they do. And then something like that happens where somebody finds something that's not even big. It's just something minuscule. But certain people can take it to offense. And then now you're just like, shit. Yeah, you can't do anything.
And I'm not, yeah, like I said, like I'm not saying don't bring it up, but also don't be like, oh, they deserve no happiness. Get rid of them. Like they're an awful person. Like it's not like that. But we're running short of time, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Mark, where can they find you, buddy?
Find me Instagram, ETC Marky Mark, Twitter Marky Mark. Victor, where can they find you?
Find me on all platforms at ETC Victor, etc. Our stuff is at Real Etc. on all platforms as well. The email is real.etc@gmail.com. We never really say this, but like, comment, subscribe, share. We don't ever ask for that shit. But also just whatever, you know, if you have it in you, if you enjoyed, make sure to do that if you made it this far. And we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.